Hello everyone, welcome to Fibretown. I'm Emily and I'm glad you're here. This is Alice. Apparently there's something delicious in my daybreak. No, it's gone. Anyway, hello. It is Wednesday, April 24th, 2013. This is episode 14. How is everybody? We're doing all right. It's a beautiful morning here today. Goodness, Al. What's up? Want to go somewhere else? You busy? Just chill with me for a minute. I wanted to say thank you to those of you who left me star ratings on iTunes. It's awesome. I got a few new ones this week, as well as 2 new reviews. So thank you to One for Games and C. Steph Knit. Those were super nice reviews. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alice says thank you too. Thank you. And now I'm going to go because I'm busy, got other things to do. Alrighty. No, you can't come back up. You just got down. Silly girl. So I am Chain of Fools on Ravelry, and if you are new to the podcast, please go over and join the group, the Fibretown podcast group. We have a monthly giveaway, and people are putting in their FOs, and you can win a pattern. Oh, I see the problem. There was a crumb of her cookie. She won't leave me alone. All right, come on back. Let's see. All right, ready? Yummy. That's why she couldn't relax. There was a crumb of your cookie. How did that get up here? Must have fallen out of your lips. All right. What else did I want to say? I am on Instagram as Fibretown. And where else am I? iTunes, fibretown.blogspot.com, YouTube, and on hipcast.com is Fibretown. And yeah, so let's get right into the knitting, shall we? Show and tell. I do have an FO, but it is secret knitting. Top secret knitting. So I will not be able to show you, but hopefully in a few months I'll be able to tell you about that. It's not a design or anything like that, so nothing that exciting, but it is exciting still. So I will hold on to that and let you know when I can talk about it. I do have some whips, so Alice, I love you. All right, say goodbye to you. You're probably getting tired of seeing these whips, but my very first one is my vanilla sock out of HG Yarns on my Carbons US 1.5. Is that 2.5 millimeters? Let me see, is it written on there? 2.5 millimeters. It's kind of a nice feature of the Carbons. They do write both sizes on their needles. So you saw this last week. I had just cast on, and this looks yellow, but it's really orange. I abandoned this sock until knit night on Monday night, and then I picked it up again and knit all this yesterday and last night. So yeah, it does go really fast once you just get in a rhythm, and the Carbons are fast. They're fast knitting needles. There's the mate, the finished sock. And I did decide to do differing starred stripe pattern at the opposite end. So they will not be matchy-matchy, and that's fine. So those are my vanilla socks. Those are on over 64 stitches, and I just do my own recipe. So that's my first whip. That'd be nice to have it done next week, but I'm not promising anything. Okay, my Old Town. I don't know. It's been over a month that I've been working on this, definitely. And I just put on the second gigantic ball of yarn. This is on size 5s. These are my ChowGoo interchangeables, which I now adore now that I know how to use them. And where am I on this? Let's see. That's how far I am. This, it's not a lifeline, but it's where I had the stitches on a holder, and I just left them on the holder, and I've knit this much from the holder down this week. It's about 3 inches or so. I was knitting on this last night. I was watching some Netflix in bed, as I do, you know, BBC shows, and did a repeat, did an increase, and then I noticed something. I don't know how this happened. All right, this lace panel looks just fine, right? Sort of feather and fanny. Got this one column of feather and fan here, another column of feather and fan here, and then this sort of plain piece in the middle. So that's fine. Now on the left side, this is not easy to show. On the left side, I noticed that all of a sudden I've got the two columns, all of a sudden I've got feather and fanning happening where it shouldn't. So that is going to require some sweater surgery. I'm going to have to rip back maybe just on this portion an inch up. But first I have to figure out what the heck I did. So when I discovered that, it was about 11 last night, let me adjust the camera, I just put the thing down, walked away, finished my show. I was watching Monarch of the Glen, just started that series. It's pretty good. I love Scotland stuff. Monarch of the Glen is set in Scotland. So I put the old town away and just put it out of my head. But it was on my mind this morning when I got up. Stinker sweater. I used to love it so much. I still do. I put it on. It fits. Just need to fix that and knock out like 11 inches of stockinette and lace. Yeah. Bye-bye Old Town for now. It might be in timeout for a few days until I can feel I can tackle that sweater surgery. Alrighty, let's talk about spinning. I had this in my hand. This is the Fiber Optic Aqua to Chocolate that I balled up. Oh, I wish it would show up better. The chocolate's not showing up. Maybe a little further away. So, it's lovely, it's round, it's pretty colors. It's going to be a hat. But just wanted to show you that balled up. Now, I told you all I was going to spin some Rambouillet. Rambouillet, I don't think that's spelled correctly. But this is Rambouillet from Reflections at Rocklands. It's Kate and John Bostek, Fairfield, PA. There's the website. Oh my gosh. I took this to my knit night on Monday and I made everybody squish it. I was like, squish my yarn, squish it. And I wore it around my neck for a while just to enjoy it. And I really wish we had Squish-O-Vision because it's squishy. It's squishy like you wouldn't believe. It's like a great big sponge. It's amazing. This is a true 3-ply. It's very even. Go me. Very even, lovely. It's be a great baby item. I have 160 yards, maybe a baby vest with cables. 3-ply are great for cables. They really pop. So, as I said before, I am spinning Sheep and Wool 2012 purchases to sort of decide what I want to buy this year. And I will definitely be getting more of this. This is 3 ounces, not 4. So, 3 ounces of a 3-ply, 160 yards. That's not bad. Usually, bumps of fiber come in 4 ounces. So, I will be getting more of that. I have to decide how much I want. I think it's about $4 or $5 an ounce. Is that right? Yeah. So, it'd be great to get a garment's worth. Awesomeness. Reflections at Rocklands. That's hard to say. That is it for spinning this week. So I'm on to miscellaneous here. It's going to be a shorty. That's okay. What do I want to talk about first? Oh, a couple new threads in the Ravelry group. The first is a FO thread. I've noticed, or an FO, we have that. But I noticed that there had been some chatter happening in the FO thread. So I opened a new thread. It's like, what's your show and tell? What's your whip? What's your FO, basically? Place to chat about what you're making and what you finished. And if people, there's just amazing, gorgeous stuff in the FO thread. So here's a place where you can compliment each other, maybe get help, suggestions, ideas. So there's some stuff going on there. Sorry, she was biting something. It's a toy. And so the other new thread is the Maryland Sheep and Wool giveaway idea thread. This is just a place to come up with ideas, things that you would like to pick up at Maryland Sheep and Wool, because I will be picking up something to do as a podcast giveaway later on. The thread is not the actual giveaway thread. It's just ideas. What do you like? And a lot of Into the World, a lot of fiber optic. What else? Trindles are very popular. So yeah, let me know what tickles your fancy and talk about it in there. I had to wind this fiber optic at my friend's house because after I wound my gigantic ball of Blue Moon, I didn't say what this was, sorry, Blue Moon Fiber Arts BFL Sport in the winter solstice colorway. After I wound this 661 yard ball, my Knit Picks ball winder did that. Broke right off. I emailed their customer service and I got a response the next day saying, we will replace that. It's on its way. So, one nice thing for Knit Picks. And I had that ball winder for about 1.5 years. And it's not the greatest, but it works. It does the job. And they replace it if it breaks, so that's awesome. I am going to Fiberspace with some knitting buddies on Friday to replace my broken carbons. You have to, rather than deal with the company, you deal with the place you bought them. So I will be going to Fiberspace on Friday, and it will be difficult to not buy any fiber or yarn, but I'm going to try just to exchange the needles. Let's see. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, I'm doing a D-stash. Still going on. It's on the Sell and D-stash board on Rav. And I've sold a few things, so I was able finally to order some Highland Handmaids fiber. And that is supposed to arrive this afternoon, so I should have that to show you guys next week. Very excited. This is my Highland Handmaids virgin, so this is my very first time with Highland Handmaids. What else? Oh, I noticed on the Meduseld blog, that's the farm in West Virginia, we did a giveaway from them, that they had some new lambs, some Jacob cross lambs the other day, and just gorgeous little creatures. But they're doing a giveaway on their blog, maybe actually on the Ravelry group, Meduseld, Meduseld. And they're giving away some of their Frisian Dorset down yarn. So if that's kind of thing that appeals to you, I have never tried either of those, and I love trying different breeds. Go ahead and enter that giveaway. It's on their group. You probably have to be a member of their group, but check it out. I think they're also giving away some alpaca yarn. And I will link to their blog and their group in the show notes. A little bit of an awkward thing for me to talk about. I didn't mention the whole Boston thing last week. I really am terrible with talking about that kind of thing. So, you know, I'm sure you all know how I feel and probably feel the same way you guys do about it. I just never have the right words, and there really aren't any. So here's something I don't have the words for either, but I'm going to try. I put a donut button. Wouldn't that be nice? I put a donate button on the blog. As you know, I hadn't planned on paying for hosting, but I ended up doing so I could get on iTunes, and I'm not asking for donations. If you're the type of person, the lovely type of person that does like to donate to podcasts, feel free. If nobody ever donates, it's all good. But I thought I would put that up there just to help with the hosting fees and miscellaneous patterns and mailing fees, but mostly the hosting fees. So that is there on the blog at fiberspot.blogspot.com, just so you know. Again, not expecting anything there, but everyone else seems to have one, so why not? Okay, so last week I started talking about how I learned to knit and crochet. I showed you my learn how to knit booklet that I got, and it was a fail, total fail. I was a really tight knitter. It wasn't happening. So that got put aside. And then when I was pregnant with my son in 2007, he was born at the end of the summer, and I was teaching at the time, and I had the summer off, so I decided I'm going to make my kid something. And my great-grandmother and my grandmother had both crocheted, not knit, but they had crocheted, and I had memories of them crocheting, so I signed up for a crochet class at a local yarn store that is no longer open. It's called Capital Yarns, and I had a private lesson, and it was before the store opened, and the teacher was supposed to have kept the door locked, but she forgot. And people started coming in, and she had to help them, and so my lesson was very disjointed and interrupted. So I learned sort of basic, the chain, the single and double crochet. It was very difficult. So I had a couple lessons with her, and she said, that one lesson was really not as private as it should have been because everyone was coming in the store. So why don't you come back for another lesson? And in the meantime, practice this. And I had decided to crochet a baby hat out of some Encore. So I went to the beach. I didn't touch it, and I was like, "Ooh, I better practice this." So I did, and I was terrible. And at this point, I paid for the hook, the yarn, the pattern, the lessons, which are not cheap. But she had said, "Come back for another lesson," because that wasn't a great lesson because of all those people interrupting. So I went back for another lesson, and at the end of it, she charged me for another hour. And I was just so taken aback, I just paid her. Probably now I would have been like, what? No. But I was taken aback, so I did pay for that other lesson. And by now, with all of those things, I'm into this crocheted baby hat for $100, right? Like $35 for each lesson and everything else. And to top it off, I finished crocheting the baby hat, and like, woohoo! And I grabbed the scissors, and before she could stop me, I cut off the tail. There was like this much yarn. She's like, ah! So now I have a wonky crocheted baby hat with a tail sticking out that cannot be woven in. For $100. However, if I had not paid $100 for that crocheted baby hat, I may have just left it at that. But I was done with the lessons. And I said to myself, I better do something with this $100. I better make this work. So I went to the library and checked out every crochet book they had and really got into it from there. So I feel like if I hadn't had that experience, if I hadn't paid $100 for a baby hat out of Encore, then maybe I wouldn't have pushed myself to continue with it. So I did, and I really got into it. And what was funny during that lesson is that as soon as she started showing me what to do and my hands got on the yarn and the hook, I was like, I had one of those, Proustian moments, like it all came rushing back to me. I think they had taught me how to crochet as a kid, and I just forgotten. At least I was doing simple chains because there was definitely a muscle memory there, and I had a memory of doing it, so that was really cool. So that was sort of my learning to craft with yarn part 2. And there's a part 3 and 4 and all that jazz. So I will talk about that another time. But yeah, I just, wanted to share that with you guys. Let me wrap this up. You know what though? I need to cast on a new something. And I'm thinking a Stephen West shawl. Maybe the Spectra or the Clockwork. I'm kind of craving a shawl now. All right. So come and see me on the Ravelry group. Post in the threads I talked about. Put your FOs in. Somebody's going to win a pattern, so it might be you. iTunes reviews. If you think about it, star ratings are super easy to do. And I'll love you forever. And what else? That is all. So I'm going to start tech editing this and doing some show notes, and I hope you guys have a fantastic week. And did you know, hang on, let me look at my calendar. I think that next week might be the last, yes it is, the last podcast before Sheep and Wool. Sheep and Wool. Okay, I'm going to take my nerdy Sheep and Wool self off to do my errands, and I will say goodbye to you guys. Have a great week. Bye-bye.